Hi, hope all of you are well. Today we are in Victoria Harbor, and in front of us is Fisherman's Wharf. I forget the name of this park, but there's a nice little park with a playground area, a lot of walking space and bench space. Nice place to relax while the sun is setting, and a place to enjoy. The ferries coming in and out. Today I wanted to review some of the stuff I talked about last time about breaking out of procrastination and your own slumps that you might be in, and that are somewhat disguised by television binges and YouTube videos and social media, etc. One of those solutions that I suggested is to get up and get out and do stuff, whatever that might be. Even just taking a leisurely walk, getting groceries, exploring your neighborhoods is a good step to take. What I'd like to move towards in terms of topic for today is travel and housing. And so one of the things that I've done to get out and about and do it in a practical way to take steps towards my goals is to travel to different cities and look for housing, and more specifically retirement housing. So before I continue, I want to state a disclaimer. I pretty much say it every video, or at least I try to, and it applies to every video I make. These are my own thoughts and story. I try to help as many people as I can through my own story and the things that I've learned from those experiences. But it is up to you to decide for yourself what your priorities are and your own methods to learn through your own experiences. So with that said, we will be walking to the Fisherman's Wharf, and I will show you some of the unique housing that is here. It's not an option for me really, but these are homes that are not on land, so something to look at and to consider. And I hope that you will like and subscribe if you like this content. Comment and share. That would be very much appreciated if you want me to continue making these videos. And so in terms of a home, I want to mention that a home has to be an ideal location. So for example, this is a harbor city, and if you like that kind of environment where you're surrounded by water, lots of boats, ferries, harbor planes, etc. A lot of cruise ships come this way, and you can take helicopter to Vancouver if you'd like. So if this is the kind of city that you like, then this is the kind of place that you would look at. The population is, I guess, medium level city. It is in Canada one of the few places at this moment in May 2019 that property values are still increasing, whereas in all the other areas of, no, I shouldn't say all, but most areas in Canada, property values are declining. Other property values in Vancouver Island, like near Nanaimo, and other areas are also continuing to increase for whatever reason. In a future video, I'll talk about what some of those reasons might be. But for now, this is a place that people like to live. So let's walk around, take a look at some of these houseboats. Floating B&B if you want to experience this kind of lifestyle. I am walking on private property at the moment. I don't even know if I'm allowed to, but just take a quick look at some of these homes. That green one is like a 3-story home or 2-story home with a top floor deck. It's interesting. And these are all unique houses. Probably all built by the owners. They do pay mortgage fees, but there's no land, so that makes the home much more affordable. You'd think there might be a danger that these homes could get washed away or something like that, but I think that's one of the unique qualities of these homes, is that since they sit on water, they basically are somewhat immune to flooding. If there's any sort of flood, they'll just go up and down on the water, unless it's like a tsunami or something like that. It's a different story. And yeah, these homes are an option for a lot of people. Very unique option, and probably affordable one as well. Here's one of the harbor ferries, and many of them that go across the harbor. Not sure where this one is going to, but there's many of them. Lots of housing across the harbor too. You see the apartment buildings, townhouses, low-rises, so on. Imagine the land is very valuable here, and that's why some of these houseboats are an option. So, what are some of the criteria that I would look for in terms of deciding on retirement housing? In the past, I looked at convenience as a major factor. What is the value of your time in terms of deciding on location? For me, near a grocery store or a swimming pool, schools, if you have kids, which I do, or other entertainment facilities like movie theaters and so on. I like to have access to outdoor areas or activities. That's important to me. And forms of travel would be important to me as well. So access to cruise ports, bus stations, long distance bus station that is, long distance train stations, and so on. So that would be important to me. Public transit goes without saying. So other things that might be important as well would be where your family and friends, the rest of your social network might be, although that seems to be going global these days. Also sources of income and climate. Income is a factor that is changing nowadays for most people, because there's a lot of things that you can do remotely to get income. Climate is also something that I've adjusted to myself as well. So my plan would be to have at least 2 places to live in, Whether they be, eventually it'd be nice if they were homes that I owned, but it could be places that I rent, or one that I own and a place that I would go to rent during half the season. So living like half the year in a place of ideal climate. Let's say like now in Vancouver, this is when the summer season starts, from May to September, October-ish. And this is the kind of weather that I fell in love with when I first came to Vancouver. And during the fall and winter, go to another place where there is less rain and less cold temperatures, like a southern area, like for example Vegas or Florida or wherever else. Hi. So Edmonton was another place that I was looking at. Vancouver, I have to admit, that is unaffordable, although the summer months are ideal. Edmonton has nice summers as well. I've been there a couple times during the summertime. And but the climate during the winter time is not so good. But if I could rent out a home that I own there, or just rent during the summertime, and then go to another place where there's a better climate, like say Vegas, during the other half of this season, that would be fantastic. And so that's something I would consider in terms of climate, and so that's something that I'm looking into and trying to approach in terms of a goal, housing goal for my family. To buffer for climate in terms of different cities, one way to do that is to find a home or homes that are near shopping malls, because shopping malls have pretty much the same indoor climate all year round. And so if you live near a mall and you wanted to, say, get away from the heat outdoors, you can simply go to the mall where it is air conditioned, or vice versa. If you are freezing cold in your home and you got your heating cranked up fully and you're wearing multiple sweaters and long underwear, you can again escape that cold weather, at least for a few hours, by going to the mall. So I think living near a public place that you can go to that is has indoor space that is climate controlled is something that is ideal. So I tend to look for homes that have access to that, whether they be large public libraries or shopping malls, even recreation centers or community centers would provide that as well. So this is Southgate Mall, near a major transit station near the southern end of Edmonton, and it's very typical of malls in Vancouver. The one that reminds me of is Oak Ridge Mall, and this is something you can get in Edmonton, and you don't have to pay the price of living in Vancouver. I think it should go without saying that an ideal location would not be a high crime area. So that is another criteria I look for. Of course, if you've listened to some of my other videos, you know that safety is extremely important to me, security as well. And so if you lived in a high crime area, then that would completely violate two of my principles in terms of living well. So I wanted to mention that other factors that you might want to look at in terms of finding a location in terms of a permanent home for ideal for yourself is what special needs you might have, and that covers a broad range, of course, but in general, sensory needs, mobility needs, cognition needs, and possibly some other ones that I can't think of right now. And language learning, of course, is critical. We live in a global world where you can fly pretty much anywhere, and so wherever you choose to live, you need to be able to speak the language of the city, of the country. English will get you far, and I believe maybe in the future Chinese might get you far as well. But for now, you still need to be able to speak the native tongue that is native to the area that you live in. Other things that you need to consider would include your social network, making connections, having public space to do so, libraries, community centers, schools, etc. Also, where family might be. If you have family and friends that are really involved in supporting you, you need to have some proximity to them, and having places where you can go to have leadership opportunities, if that is something that is an option for you. Because living in a place that does not have these things is kind of depressing, to say the least. But having these things, access to nutrition and activities, education, social network, support from the community, sources of income, and a whole bunch of other things will, in the long run, improve your chances of having quality life and living a wellness lifestyle. Excuse me. So, if you want to learn more about how you can live this kind of lifestyle, it is not a sprint. Has taken me 2.5 decades to get to where I am, but I'd like to help you live this kind of lifestyle. If you have any questions, please comment below. So I want to incorporate a mantra in every one of my videos, and this is like I call it an affirmation mantra, something that you can add to your journal, or you can just practice it whenever you're meditating or relaxing in a quiet place. And so today's mantra is, I can plan my life and put it into action with support from family and friends. I can plan my life and put it into action with support from family and friends. I can plan my life and put it into action with support from family and friends. And so these affirmation mantras, I'll include one in every video if I remember. And hopefully you'll add your own affirmation mantras to your daily life. And I believe that these affirmations over the long run can change your cognition, improve the positivity that you have in your life, and move you forward, move you out of ruts and into a higher quality life. Please let me know what you want me to cover. Wellness is a very broad topic. I do plan in the near future to cover topics that include personal finance and travel. These are my passions at the moment, and very likely will be for a very long time. So yeah, please give me some more detail on what you want me to talk about, and I will do my best to cover the topic. Put it in the comments below. And until next time, let us go now.
fit right. Give it up for the chefs on the bliss. Come on, y'all. And keep it going for your stateroom stewards and stewardesses. Now here's the deal. We do believe that leadership does come from the top down, and some important key players to introduce to you. First and foremost, front and center, with the long lashes on board, your executive chef. Make some noise for Francis. With the mayor in the middle, your guest services manager, Belkis. Keep it going for your restaurant manager, Elena. And the man that puts the booze in the cruise, your beverage manager, Kira. And with him, your assistant hotel director, Joselle. your executive house, give her